I mean, they're a great defensive team. You know, they're going to be physical with me. They're strong.
It's kind of what we had to do. I think more than half of our shots came from the three-point line, so I thought we settled a little bit.
Did you hear about Caitlin Clark's latest press conference? It was wild. Reporters were throwing all kinds of crazy questions at her, trying to trip her up. But guess what? Clark handled it like a pro. You won't believe what they asked her about. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Caitlin Clark just faced her toughest opponent yet, and it wasn't even on the court. Picture this. Clark walks into a press conference ready to talk hoops, but these reporters? They had other plans. It's like they were trying to catch her off guard with the weirdest questions ever. You know what's even crazier? This wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was Clark's chance to show she's not just a star player, but a star person. The pressure was on, and everyone was watching. Would she crack under these bizarre questions, or would she shine brighter than ever? Let's just say, Clark's answers left everyone speechless.
As a group, we really struggled to make shots that we had been making really since the start of the second half.
I still feel like there's so many ways that I can continue to be better, and
This girl is something else. Clark didn't just dodge the reporter's traps, she flipped the script entirely. Imagine turning a question about Instagram likes into a call for voter registration. How did she pull off this unexpected move? And what does it say about her off-court influence? You know how some people crumble under pressure? Not Caitlin Clark. This girl's got nerves of steel and a mind as sharp as her jump shot. Picture this. A reporter throws her a curveball, asking about some random Instagram post she liked. Now, most players might get flustered or give some boring answer. But Clark? She saw an opportunity where others might have seen a trap. Here's where it gets wild. Instead of taking the bait and talking about social media drama, Clark completely changed the game. She turned that Instagram question into a powerful message about civic engagement. Can you believe it? 1 second they're talking about likes, and the next, Clark's encouraging people to hit the polls. I think the biggest thing would be just encourage people to register to vote, Clark said, cool as a cucumber. Talk about a plot twist. This wasn't just a clever dodge, it was Clark showing everyone she's got more on her mind than just basketball. You've got to admire her quick thinking. Most of us would be sweating bullets trying to figure out how to answer without causing drama. But Clark? She saw a chance to use her platform for something bigger than herself. That's the kind of leadership you can't teach folks. Think about it. How many young athletes do you know who'd use a press conference to talk about voting? Clark's response proves she's not just focused on her game, but on making a real difference off the court too. It's like she's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
Rebound. Clark, what a pass, hit stride.
Diana Taurasi, she's Steph Curry. She's insert great shoot.
This moment wasn't just about dodging a tricky question. It was Clark showing the world she's more than just a basketball phenom. She's got her eyes on the bigger picture, using her fame to encourage civic participation. That's the kind of maturity you don't often see in young athletes. Just when you thought Clark had faced every possible question, the reporters decided to take a detour into a corn maze. Yep, you heard that right, a corn maze in a pre-game press conference. How did Clark handle this bizarre twist? Let's just say she didn't get lost in the stalks. Picture this, Clark standing there, ready to talk hoops, and some reporter throws her a curveball about corn mazes. I mean, come on. Who asks about corn mazes at a basketball press conference? It's like they were trying to catch her off guard or something. But here's where it gets good. Instead of getting flustered, Clark took that weird question and ran with it. She starts sharing her childhood experiences in Iowa, saying, corn mazes are a lot more difficult than people probably think if you've never done one. It's very easy to get lost in there, kind of scary if you're not with people. Can you believe it? 1 second they're talking about basketball, and the next, Clark's giving us a corn maze survival guide. Talk about keeping your cool under pressure. You know what's wild about this? It's not just about answering a random question, it's about Clark showing everyone she's more than just a basketball machine. She's a real person with real experiences, and she's not afraid to share them. Think about it. Most players would have been thrown off by a question like that. They might have given some boring answer or tried to steer it back to basketball. But not Clark. She took that corn maze question and turned it into a moment that made everyone love her even more. It's like Clark's playing a whole different game than everyone else.
That probably goes for our whole team. We still feel like there are so many ways for us to improve.
What does Clark have up her sleeve this time?
While reporters are trying to trip her up, she's out here turning every question into a chance to connect with fans. That's not just skill, that's straight up talent. And you know what? This whole corn maze thing is kind of like a metaphor for how Clark handles the media. Just like in a real corn maze, she knows how to navigate all these twists and turns. Where others might get lost or panic, Clark finds her way through with ease. It's not just about answering questions anymore. It's about showing the world who you really are. And Clark, she's proving she's as authentic off the court as she is dominant on it. Just when Clark thought she'd handled every curveball, along came a press conference that nearly went off the rails. One reporter's comment threatened to overshadow her debut, but Clark's reaction? It's got everyone talking about respect in sports journalism. You know how sometimes things can get weird in press conferences? Well, Caitlin Clark just experienced that firsthand. Picture this. Clark's sitting there, ready to talk about her exciting new journey with the Indiana Fever. Then, out of nowhere, reporter Greg Doyle throws her a curveball that nobody saw coming. Doyle decided to make this heart gesture. You know, the one Clark does with her family? But here's where it gets uncomfortable. When Clark looked confused, Doyle said something that made everyone cringe. "Start doing it to me, and we'll get along just fine." Yikes, right? Now, you'd think a moment like that would throw anyone off their game. I mean, Clark's just starting her WNBA career, and suddenly, she's dealing with this awkward situation on camera. But guess what? Clark didn't even flinch. She kept her cool like a total pro. The whole thing blew up on social media. People were calling out Doyle left and right, saying his comment was totally inappropriate. It could have been a PR nightmare for Clark, but she turned it into a teachable moment. Instead of getting caught up in the drama, Clark let her actions speak louder than words. She stayed focused on basketball and her goals with the Fever. It's like she was telling everyone, "I'm here to play ball, not get wrapped up in controversy." And you know what? Her approach worked. People started talking about how Clark handled the situation with such grace.
I like that you're here.
I do that at my family after every game, so
Okay,
it's
well,
pretty cool.
Incredibly well controlled off of the bounce, absorbing the contact, getting it to go.
It wasn't just about her skills on the court anymore. It was about her character off it. Even Doyle had to admit he messed up. He wrote in his column, "I now realize what I said and how I said it was wrong, wrong, wrong." That's a pretty big deal, right? A veteran reporter admitting he needs to do better when it comes to respecting female athletes. But here's the real game changer. Clark's response to this whole situation sparked a bigger conversation. People are talking about how female athletes are treated by the media. It's like Clark accidentally became the face of a movement for more respect in sports journalism. Think about it. Clark could have gotten angry or defensive. Instead, she showed everyone what true professionalism looks like. She's proving that she's not just a basketball star. She's a role model for how to handle tough situations with class. Caitlin Clark's journey from college star to WNBA sensation is blowing everyone's minds. Remember when she was just that Iowa kid with a killer shot? Now she's handling press conferences like a pro, showing she's got game on and off the court. You won't believe how Clark's been handling these reporters lately. They're throwing curveballs left and right, but she's knocking them out of the park. It's like watching a chess master at work, except the chessboard is a press room. But here's the real kicker. Clark isn't just talking hoops anymore, she's using her voice to tackle big issues, like getting people to vote. That's huge. She's not just changing how we see women's basketball, she's changing how we see female athletes, period. Clark's proving she's more than just a player. She's a leader, a role model, and a game changer for women in sports.